Basically, I joined the Alba team 1 month ago, and I'm in charge of the development for NightLights access. So from both a commercial and a technical front, what we aim to do is to develop our Earth observation capabilities using our small satellites, which I think many of you here are familiar with. So a bit about myself. Pico satellites are relatively new technology to me. I usually deal with a bit of the bigger things. So I'm from Singapore itself there. I've had experience in working with lasers for quantum key distributions. We launched our first satellite in Singapore with a university in 2018, and the 3U satellite just ended its lifetime this week actually. So it is a bit of a special week for me there. Other than that, I've been doing a bit of space/defense research there, ESA mission planning. So apart from what Alba Orbital is doing, if you do have any involvement or questions about mission planning or CubeSats or anything related to systems planning, feel free to reach out to me. So I'm going to go into the Earth observation market in a really brief introduction there. So within the Earth observation industry itself, there are a lot of publicly available data sets for EO remote sensing applications. Just to name 3 of them, really common ones, we've got DMSP, the ISS imagery, and the verse imagery. And they are complementary. They are really good in the sense that they are good to help students, inform what they need to do. They're good for preliminary studies. However, once we start to move into the deeper technical capabilities there are certain areas such as spectral bands, such as the availability of data sets, the frequency of data sets, which I think, unfortunately, the market can't really offer yet. And basically, this is what we at Alba Orbital, we basically come in. And so this is what we do. We help you reduce the cost savings. So because we design everything in-house with our own dedicated team, we're able to drive down our launch costs. We're able to reduce the cost of our solutions. We are pushing our resolution at 24 meters ground sampling distance there. And this is just a start. So as we progress in terms of R&D funding itself, we're going to push the resolution from 24 meters down to 15, and then ideally towards 10 meters ground sampling distance. And that's going to take place within the next 1 to 2 years there. So it's a really exciting space for us to be in now, and we actually hope to work with many of you on this. And lastly, the solutions that we really offer has a frequent revisit rates. So at present there, existing EO solutions, they come about every month, perhaps every week, a few hours, and that is fine. However, when you are tracking, situations that require almost seamless updates, so things like emergency natural disasters, forest fires, and things like that, you do need really frequent revisit rates, and this is where Alba comes in. And I'd like to direct your attention to this graph here. So this is sort of a overview of the different players in the Earth observation market there. Some of them are publicly available. Some of them are private companies. I think you're familiar with some of them there. And essentially what we at Alba believe is the fact that we don't really see ourselves as being competing with industry. We actually seek to complement ourselves as being the early responders. So if there's any incident, we come in first, we isolate, we observe. And if there's a need for a more refined resolution, this is where the bigger players within the market itself will come around there. So that's where we see ourselves fitting into the ecosystem itself. I'm sure many of you are really familiar with what we do at Alba, but just a really brief overview. We've launched 6 into orbit. We have 60 more ready to fly on SpaceX. 4 more. Yeah, cool. So sorry about that. PowerPoint isn't really working. So basically, I'm just going to touch on our main EO products there. So what I mentioned previously was the fact that we have public data sets available, decent resolution rates. However, sometimes the data sets are not available because they go on a monthly basis. So if academics or people from industry need it on a frequent basis, this is where we come in. So we design our own Pico satellites and imaging systems and algorithms in-house. It is responsive. We have decent revisit rates, 24 meters. We are going to push it down to 15 and towards 10 meters once we have our R&D set up. And this is where the meat on bone comes in. We have frequent revisit rates at 15 minutes there. And as I've mentioned before, when it comes to emergency type of situations where you do need very responsive observations, this is where we come in, because our revisit rates are 15 minutes, passing over the same area of interest. And basically, this is where we are, because in the sense that we see ourselves as being the early responders. So once there's an incident, we come forward, we observe first, and then the bigger players in the market, Planet and so on and so forth, they will come in with their bigger toys, so to speak, with a clearer resolution there. And basically that's how we fit into the ecosystem. And yes, this was where I was. And just in case some of you are not really aware of who we are at Alba, we've launched 6 satellites in orbit. We have 16 more going up in SpaceX, 4 more in Rocket Lab. And basically right now we are at the forefront of the pocket tube technology. We partner a lot with academic institutions, space bodies like ESA, and with the advancement of NightLights, actually, we are moving into the defense and consultancy sector. So we are getting a lot of strong interest from consultancy firms, national parks, and even insurance brokers. So there are many, many applications there, and it is endless, but I'm not going to dive into the details of this. Just to sort of give everyone a rough deployment timeline, because I think my time is running out. We're slated for our launch, in December, January. That's a rough time estimate. The next one will be in March and October. And the ambition is to basically have a fleet of all these constellations up in space there. So once we have a working proof of concept, we're going to hoist more of them into space. There are going to be a few hundred of them in space there, orbiting around Earth and giving almost seamless real-time imagery. And with that, I understand that maybe some of you may have technical questions, which may not come to you immediately. This is my email. This is my LinkedIn. If at any point you think that you may want to ask something, just go for it.